Mrs. Suchitra Durai has arrived. We will now begin the program. My name is Aparna Patwardhan. I am the Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Embassy of India. I extend a hearty welcome to Dr. Chirapat Prapandavidya, professors, dignitaries, ICCR scholars, students, friends and colleagues at the 71st ICCR Foundation Day celebrations. The Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, was founded in 1950 by the first Education Minister of India, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, with an objective to foster and strengthen cultural relations between India and the world. ICCR's mission includes cultural, academic, and intellectual exchanges and promotion of Indian culture through its cultural centers in India and abroad. These centers promote dance, music, yoga, languages, food festivals, art, etc. This year we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of India's independence. Therefore, today's celebrations are more special. To begin the event, I request Her Excellency Mrs. Suchitra Durai, Dr. Chirapat Prapandavidya, Dr. Sombat Magni Suksiri, and Dr. Kovit Pimpuang to please come forward to light the lamp. We will now present the video message of the President of ICCR, Dr. Vinay Sahasrabudhe, on the occasion of the ICCR Foundation Day.
नमस्ते सभी को भारतीय सांस्कृतिक संबंध परिषद के स्थापना दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। My dear colleagues, let me offer greetings at the occasion of the Foundation Day of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. Today, that is 9th April, marks the completion of 71 years of the establishment of the ICCR. It is therefore very timely that we reflect and review our work in the light of our institutional mission. The ICCR has been successfully striving to achieve the objective of trying to make a significant value addition in India's soft power potential. ICCR has been working towards creating a sound understanding of Indian culture in multiple ways. During the last 6 years, the ICCR has received a new thrust in harnessing the optimum soft power potential under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Honorable Prime Minister has shown keen interest to build onto India's soft power strengths and personally chair a meeting last year on 13th July 2020 to review ICCR's past, present, and future. Dear colleagues, as such, visible systemic changes have been introduced in alignment with Prime Minister Modi's vision of strengthening India's soft power. This has been complemented by the introduction of many new initiatives. As the President of ICCR, it has been both a privilege and a delight to have been closely associated with the birth of many such initiatives. The most notable among them is the policy decision to name all unnamed ICCR centers abroad as Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center as a tribute to the spiritual leader who was also modern India's first spiritual ambassador. Other significant initiatives include the celebration of the 21st May as International Culture Day, also 21st June as International Yoga Day, institutionalization of Pandit Deendayal Upadhyaya Memorial Oration, organizing Destination India Conference and seminar recently held on Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and also the launch of a portal which is Universalization of Traditional Indian Knowledge Systems or UTICS. This is a platform with which we will be able to reach out to the global community and disseminate knowledge and understanding about Indian culture. Further, and as part of ICCR Alumni Connect program, the Indian missions and posts of Indian cultural centers abroad have been asked to organize international video blogging contest on the theme My Impressions of India and What India Means to Me to coincide with the celebrations of the Foundation Day of ICCR. The video blogging contest was opened exclusively for foreign students who studied in India either on ICCR scholarship or any other fellowship or maybe under a self-finance scheme. The Council, I am very happy to share with you, has received an encouraging response from 33 countries, and out of them, few entries have been selected for award and recognition to their performance. Apart from these, many new initiatives are under the pipeline. ICCR is working on formation of Association of Alumni of Indian Institutions. It is preparing a database of all students who have studied from Indian institutions. Inputs from the missions have been received and are being consolidated in existing data of our alumni. Association of Alumni of Indian Institutions are being formed in the respective countries through our missions. It is my pleasure to share with you that out of the many such forums under contemplation in different countries, my recent visit to Uzbekistan gave me an opportunity to inaugurate the Uzbekistan Forum of the Alumni Association of Indian Institutions. On this Foundation Day, I take this opportunity to convey my greetings and to thank all the stakeholders, including the Indian missions and cultural centers abroad, the universities in India and abroad, the foreign students who are studying in India, the whole artist fraternity, and all others who are directly or indirectly helping us in accomplishing our mission at the ICCR. I look forward to your continuous support to further strengthen the ICCR in its endeavors to become important tool of India's soft power diplomacy. Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Namaste.
There is a growing interest across the world to learn Sanskrit. Sanskrit means refined language. The word for culture in Sanskrit is Sanskriti. As you can see, the two words are interlinked. Sanskrit and culture are inseparable. On the occasion of ICCR Foundation Day, ICCR is launching Little Guru, the world's first gamified Sanskrit learning app. We will now play a video as an introduction to Little Guru, followed by the message of the Director General of ICCR, Shri Dinesh Patnaik.
Namaskaraha. Mam Nam Little Guru. I spoke in Sanskrit, but I'm sure it wasn't too hard to understand. The Sanskrit language is part of a rich Indian culture, a language that is 5,000 years old. Ever thought of learning Sanskrit but didn't do so as learning a new language could be quite cumbersome and boring considering traditional methods of learning? Forget about these books here. You don't have to read them to learn Sanskrit. Well, I'm here to replace the usual language learning style with one that is more fun and easier. Taking the edutainment route via gamification, learning the Sanskrit language is now engaging and motivating. It not only helps develop language skills faster, but also boosts your retention ability. Every milestone you reach awaits rewards for you. Enjoy and enhance your learning experience by interacting with the Sanskrit community across the globe. Get a customized learning path, and I'll guide you across various levels. How is all of this possible? The world's first gamified Sanskrit learning app is ready for you. Download and subscribe to the Little Guru app today.
Namaskar. I welcome you all to the launch of the first ever gamified Sanskrit learning app. Now, many of people ask me, why do we need to learn Sanskrit? And for all the educated listeners of today's event, I don't have to explain why we need to learn Sanskrit. Sanskrit was known as the language of the gods. The first written word in the world was in Sanskrit, in the Rig Vedas. But more than that, Sanskrit held the keys to most of the religious texts of many of the religions of the world. Hinduism, naturally, everything was in Sanskrit. Buddhism, most of the texts, the chants, was in Sanskrit. Jainism, Sikhism, many of the religions of the world, their religious texts were in Sanskrit. More than just the religious texts, many of the languages of the world, in fact, many of the languages in India, whether it is Bengali, whether it's Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, many of the languages use Sanskrit as a base for creating the language. So Sanskrit was important in that sense, but just not the text. Sanskrit held the key to the philosophies in these religions, the philosophy of Hinduism, the philosophy of Buddhism, the philosophy of Jainism. It held the key to the philosophies and the key to some of the greatest literary treasures of the world. The Vedas, the Upanishads, the great epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata, all these could be opened and were written originally in Sanskrit. So learning Sanskrit gives us an opening, a door into these great literary treasures. But not only that, they were relevant in today's world also. In the 80s, NASA did a study on all languages of the world to see which language could be used for doing computer language, which was the most computerable language. And they realized that given its clear grammatical structure, its very strict pronunciations, that Sanskrit was the most computerable language in the world. Not only that, Sanskrit was also a language which had a structure which could merge into any computerable system. And so Sanskrit was a language which was not only of the ancient text, but of modern day times also. However, it was difficult to learn Sanskrit. Unlike Latin, which went out of fashion or which people stopped using, Sanskrit is still a living language, taught in many parts of India and across the world, whether in the Buddhist countries, whether in India, in the West, everywhere. Sanskrit is still a language being taught everywhere, but taught in a manner which was slightly old-fashioned, which was in a manner which took to texts, books, and to religious teachings. What we started getting from all over the world was requests from many people in assistance in learning Sanskrit. We got requests for books, we got requests for text material, we got requests for computers, for hardware, for teachers. ICCR used to depute a large number of teachers across the world to different institutes to teach Sanskrit. And so we realized that we need something which is more modern, which is up to date, which works with technology to bring this ancient language to the people. There are a lot of people who want to learn Sanskrit, but they do not want to go through the rigor of learning it in the way it has been taught over the years. So we decided to use modern day tools like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and gaming techniques. Gaming techniques help in bringing life to the language because it makes it interactive. It keeps the attention span of the people. In today's age, young people have a very short attention span. But gaming techniques help to keep that attention span. It also helps in keeping them occupied, in going from level to level, in competing with their peers, with competing with others, in learning against themselves, in seeing that tomorrow I will learn more than what I learned today, in getting points. In the whole gaming technique helps in creating an environment where learning becomes fun. So we decided to do a fun way, an easy way to learn Sanskrit. And so ICCR teamed up with GameApt company to work out, to design this new app that we are learning called Little Guru. The Little Guru is a beautiful symbol of what we propose to do in teaching Sanskrit to people across the world. This app would help students, teachers, monks, people who are already learning Sanskrit and people who want to learn Sanskrit to be able to get an app which will help them learn it easier at their own pace, whatever time they want, whichever location they're in, whichever area they stay in, to be able to learn Sanskrit. And at each step, it helps you to do better. It not only teaches you vocabulary, it teaches you grammar, it teaches you structure, but it also helps you revise, learn, progress on a daily basis, and to find what your progress is against your peers, to get rewards, to get points when you complete sentences, when you complete sets, when you complete courses, and also to have competitions among peers, among friends, among schools, among colleges, to be able to see how well you can progress in Sanskrit. This app, I'm hopeful, will ensure that Sanskrit becomes a language that everybody learns, which everybody practices, and becomes a feeder into some of the great universities which are teaching Sanskrit today. Today there is a large amount of requirement of young people to learn Sanskrit so that our ancient texts, our ancient history, our culture, our tradition does not go waste. We need this language to be able to keep our young people interested in our ancient history and culture and heritage. And so this app is something which ICCI has bought for nations of the world, for different religions, to be able to use this app to teach the young people, the youth about Sanskrit, and through that help them appreciate the great historical, literary and cultural traditions of their country. And I'm sure that all of you will enjoy this app. We are putting a feedback loop into the usage of the app. Your feedback, your views, your comments will help us make the app better so that it suits your requirements. Please get back to us with feedback and comments. Tell us how the app is working. The first few lessons in the app are free. After that, it is a pay-for app. But ICCR has negotiated very favorable rates, very cheap rates for using this app. And I'm sure the thousands of people who are watching this will want to use this app to be able to learn Sanskrit and to be able to open the doors to some of the greatest literary and religious texts of the world. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day. The launch of the app is from today. We will continue this launch for quite some time. We will make sure that all of you understand all the intricacies of the app. If there is anything that you need from us, you can write to us. All the details are available. It will be on our website. There's a Little Guru website also. So please reach out. Please give us your feedback, your comments, and use the app to learn Sanskrit. Hopefully next time we meet, because I'm also started using the app to learn Sanskrit. Next time we meet or next time we talk to each other, we will talk in Sanskrit. Thank you very much and namaskar.
To launch the Little Guru app in Thailand, I would like to invite Her Excellency Mrs. Suchitra Durai and Dr. Chirapat Prapandavidya to please come forward. Dr. Chirapat Prapandavidya is a President Awardee in Sanskrit. He is a member of the Board of Management Sanskrit Studies Center, Silpakorn University, the President of the Sanskrit Studies Foundation, and the President of the Thai Bharat Cultural Lodge Association. Thank you very much. The app is now launched in Thailand. We do hope that this Sanskrit app will be useful to students of Sanskrit in Thailand and also to the Indian diaspora. I now request Ambassador Her Excellency Mrs. Suchitra Durai to deliver her message on the occasion of ICCR Foundation Day and on the launch of the Sanskrit app.
Achan Chirapat Prapan Vidya, Achan COVID, Dr. Sombat, all dignitaries present here, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, namaskar, sawadee kha. As we've already heard from the president of the ICCR, today is a very important day as we commemorate the 71st anniversary of the foundation of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR. It was founded in 1950 by independent India's first education minister, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. And as we've already heard, the objectives of the ICCR was to actively participate in the formulation and implementation of policies and programs pertaining to India's external cultural relations, to foster and strengthen cultural relations and mutual understanding between India and other countries, and thirdly, to promote cultural exchanges with other countries and people, and to develop relations with nations. So in other words, this is cultural diplomacy that the ICCR has been engaged in the last 7 decades, and over time this is also referred to as soft power, which is what, as we heard, in the last 6 years the government of India has ensured that there's a fresh thrust which is given to ICCR's work in this area. The ICCR is not only has it played a very important role in the promotion of Indian dance, Indian music, yoga, Indian languages abroad, but also, primarily through giving emphasis and promoting Indian ideas, Indian thoughts abroad. So it has been a forum and a vehicle for exchanges of ideas and thoughts, and many seminars have been held over the years, which resulted in the publication of many important texts. This started off in a very major way, in fact, in the way the festivals of India were held since the 1980s in very major way across the world, and when large groups of people went from India and showcased India to different parts of the world. And simultaneously, these seminars also helped in making people in different countries understand what is India's cultural heritage, what is India's intellectual heritage, what does contemporary India stand for, what are its achievements, and what is it that India can share with the world, and what is it that India can also learn from other countries, because these are all mutually beneficial exchanges, not a flow from one end to the other. Even as we share, we learn throughout this entire process. So as we have heard, it was established by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and he was, of course, one of the foremost leaders of the Indian freedom struggle. He was a great scholar, he was a poet, and he's responsible for, in fact, the establishment of several institutions, including the Sahitya Academy, the Sangeet Natak Academy, the Lalit Kala Academy, apart from, of course, the ICCR. And he also provided a major stimulus for the setting up of the IITs, the Indian Institutes of Technology. So this is, of course, the historic aspect. India, also established cultural centers across the world in many different continents, and at present it has 38 cultural centers abroad as well as 19 regional offices. And they have been doing very important work in propagating what India stands for and bringing countries closer and fostering international understanding. Here in Thailand itself, we have also had, apart from the scholarships that ICCR offers, every year more than 3,500 scholarships are offered across the world in graduate, postgraduate, PhD, postdoctoral areas in different subjects, and ICCR coordinates and implements these various scholarships of the Government of India. For Thailand itself, every year we offer more than 24 scholarships in various subjects, and we have, I think, now a fairly large number of those who have studied in India under the ICCR's University Scholarship Program. In the last couple of years, apart from our traditional, scholarships, university level scholarships, we are also offering specifically for ASEAN countries, the PhDs, 1,000 PhD slots have been offered. So every country, every ASEAN member country, including Thailand, gets 100 slots every year. These are very important and very prestigious scholarships. So we would like you to spread the word among your friends, and so that people can apply and avail of these scholarships, which are really in very important areas where Industry 4.0 of Thailand is directly connected. So you have it in in artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, targeted drugs, etc. So I think this is something that we will have to focus on. That ICCR is doing very good work in projecting what the contemporary India is about, and through that fostering education exchange and people to people contacts and understanding. So this really fosters, as we the Indian tradition has been the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, has been our traditional concept, and ICCR's work really has been furthering this particular concept. We've also heard, of course, about the Little Guru app, and I'm sure many who are not students of either Achan Chirapat or Dr. Sombat will be, also be inspired to download this app, including I myself, because I must confess that while I can recite a few hymns here and there and shlokas, but I really do not know Sanskrit. So like the DG ICCR said, this is very attractive for people of all ages. Children definitely will get attracted to this particular kind of an app, because it will be a sort of a fun way of learning a language. But also for older people, I think, would be finding it interesting to opt for this Little Guru app. Apart from this, of course, ICCR is doing good work, of course, in the area of promotion of Hindi. We also have, an ICCR chair for Hindi studies in Thailand, and also an ICCR chair for Sanskrit studies. And this has been going on for quite a few years now. And I think this has helped in both the countries learn through each other's knowledge of these very important languages, which open the understanding to each other's cultures as well. We are also just a few days away from celebrating another great Indian leader, Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar's 130th birth anniversary is coming up very shortly, next week, and we're going to hear Dr. Kovind speak in great detail. But for those who may not know, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar is really known to the outside world as a father of the Indian Constitution, because he was the chair of the drafting committee which led to this the drafting of this great constitution, which was adopted by the parliament, entered into effect in 1950, and made India a republic. So last month, in fact, we appropriately celebrated the 75th anniversary of our independence, rather launched the beginning of our celebrations through the formal release of the Thai translation of the Indian Constitution by His Excellency Khun Chuan Lekpai, the President of the National Assembly of Thailand, the Speaker of the Thai Parliament. So Dr. Ambedkar was, of course, also the Law and Justice Minister of India. And apart from all this, he was not just a politician, not just a jurist, he was also a very gifted economist, and he was, above all, a social reformer. So many of his ideas that he propounded at that time, including women's empowerment, equality, upliftment of the oppressed people of India, resonate even now, not just within India, but right across the world. He passionately fought against the various injustices which were prevalent in Indian society at that time. Of course, these struggles continue. There are challenges which India continues to face, but we are working on and learning from what great leaders like Baba Saheb Ambedkar taught us. So we will hear more, a short while from now. And of course, this is also a period of great festivity. So I think next week we are celebrating many festivals at the same time. We have the various New Year celebrations in many parts of India, which includes the Tamil New Year, the Vishu, which is the New Year in Kerala, which also includes Baisakhi in Punjab, Poila Baishakh in Bengal, Bihu in Assam, and many festivals, I think, which are similarly named. And of course, it also coincides with Songkran. So I take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy, healthy and safe Songkran and Savadi Pimai. And thank you very much. Khapun Kha. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I request Dr. Chirapat Prabandhavidya to make his remarks on the occasion of the launch of the Sanskrit Act.
Sawadee krab. Good evening. Namaste. Your Excellency, Khun Aparna Patwardhan, distinguished guest, scholar, fellow recipient of the fellowship and scholarship from ICCR. want to express my grateful thanks to the government of India for providing me the fellowship on the scheme of Colombo Plan to study Sanskrit in India. In 1969, I started from master degree to PhD for 7 years without coming back to Thailand in between. So I spent most of my time not only studying Sanskrit but also to travel almost throughout India. And I have learned a lot, not only the Sanskrit but also the culture and the way of life of the Indian in different part of India. So today I was asked to speak about the importance or the necessity of studying Sanskrit with reference to the Thailand. I would like to tell you why I studied Sanskrit. Basically, I was a student of archaeology at the Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University. I studied there for 4 years for bachelor degree in archaeology, and I was required to study Sanskrit. At that time, there was no major or minor subject. I have to study every subject as equally. So my concentration on Sanskrit was not enough to know thoroughly the depth of the language. But I was required to read some inscription by my dean, Prince Supatradit, the school. I couldn't read at that time because it was so difficult, because I didn't have enough knowledge of Sanskrit. So I made up my mind that if I study Sanskrit further, I would try to read that Sanskrit inscription that found in Thailand, in Cambodia, in other parts of Southeast Asia. Usually when we found any inscription in Thailand in Sanskrit, we have to depend on the Western scholar. We have to send them the rubbing, and we feel shame that even though it belongs to our country, but we cannot read it. So I have made up my mind that I will try to concentrate not only to study Sanskrit but also try to read the most ancient written document found in Southeast Asia. So in Southeast Asia, the earliest inscription was found in Vo Khan in Vietnam, which dated back to 2nd or 3rd century AD or CE. It was the oldest Sanskrit inscription. So this is the document that show that the influence of Sanskrit had came to Southeast Asia very long back, and it continued to be written in Sanskrit until very late in maybe in 13th century. Sanskrit was also still used in Southeast Asia, especially in Cambodia. Without the depth of the knowledge of Sanskrit, we cannot understand the depth of the culture of India, of Indian culture, and many things. Art, history also depend on the text in Sanskrit. If you don't study Sanskrit, you won't know how the Sangkran festival. Actually, it was a festival in Brahmanic ceremony, but adopted among the Buddhists as a Buddhist ceremony. If you don't study the Sanskrit text, you won't know that Buddhism also try to integrate some idea, some culture, some thought from Sanskrit language. Even in Sukhothai period, you may know that Deepavali was also celebrated in that period. Is it mentioned clearly in the first inscription in Thai language created by King Ramkhamhaeng the Great of Sukhothai period. That was in 13th century. It means that the culture of India using Sanskrit also was prevalent in Sukhothai period, not only Buddhism. That's why I think that without the thorough knowledge of Sanskrit, you won't be able to understand the depth of the Indian thought, the depth of Indian culture, and the depth of the beauty or the aesthetics of the Indian literature. Everything is included in Sanskrit language. That's why I'm happy that today the ICDR has launched the app on Little Guru. It is hoped that the app will be popular among not only the Thai scholar but also among the children. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jang Chirapat. Since ancient times, India has been a hub of education. Ancient universities at Nalanda, Vikramashila, Bikrampur, Nagarjuna Vidyapitha attracted foreign students from outside the subcontinent. The Government of India today offers ICCR scholarships to foreign students in the field of culture, science, technology, yoga, Ayurveda, medicine, performing arts, etc. ICCR alumni are India's goodwill ambassadors. We have shared details of ICCR scholarships for the year 2021-22 on our social media handles and website. To commemorate ICCR Foundation Day, we have with us 3 ICCR scholars to speak about their experiences in India. At first, I would like to invite Ms. Vishakha Singh, an IT engineer, to share her experiences in India.
Good evening, Namaste, Sawadika, Adab, Shastiyakal. My name is Vishakha Singh. 5 years back, I was privileged enough to receive the ICCR scholarship sponsored by Indian Embassy, a chance to pursue my engineering in the state of Gujarat. It wasn't my first time in India, as my Indian roots gives me liberty to call it my second home. India, a pluralistic, a multilingual, a multi-ethnic society, a fast-growing major economy and a hub for information technology services, portrays a picture of one of the biggest pictures in superpower. But what India means to me, what were my experiences? When I think about it, predominantly 2 historical moments that occurred and caused a new way for India helps me to answer that question. First and foremostly, the independence of India. Gandhi-led Dandi March, a non-violent movement, helped liberate the country from the colonization of British rule. A purpose that Gandhi ignited, but the people embraced it and made theirs, showcasing the world the strength of unity. The second event is India's first interplanetary mission, Mangalyaan, a rocket that was launched towards Mars. Interestingly, ISRO had very little funding for the mission. The budget was $74 million, which is very low compared to this budget of $108 million for the Hollywood movie, The Martian. I remember very vividly that when the mission got successful, the image of the mission control room went viral. Girls in India and beyond, including me, gained new heroes, the kind that wear saris and tie flowers in their hair and send rockets into the space. These events prove that the boundless capacity India holds despite the challenges at its disposal, be it little funding or non-violence movement. I'm not saying that India is the greatest nation in the world, but for me, it holds a special place in my heart. India has been my mentor, my teacher, my guide, my guru, that it has taught me, that it has provided me, that it has nurtured me, and molded me into a form that can fight any obstacle in my path. And I hope that someday, whatever I have learned from my experiences in India, I will utilize it to help in every little way possible to the country that provided me identity, to Thailand. Thank you. Khop khun.
Thank you, Vishakha. I would like to invite Ms. Inkarat Sivamati with a Kathak dancer who is also an ICCR scholar to share her experience.
Namaskar, Swadika. My name is Inkara Siwamethi. So I used to get scholarship since 2013 to 2017. But between I study in India, I decided with my mom to continue to study for 8 years. So now it's my 8th year already in India. Between 8 years, I try to explain Thai people what is Indian classical dance, because so many Thai people, they couldn't understand what is about Indian classical dance, Bollywood dance, and folk dance. So many people came to me and then they asked, I want to dance like Bollywood dance. But then after that, I say, yeah, Anjali, that is Bollywood dance, but in Bollywood dance, they have a lot of different styles. So which one do you want to know? First, we have to give the knowledge to them. I think now it's time to let Thai people understand about this culture. Because I told to my student one thing, if you want to learn about any kind of dance in India, you must know the detail, you must know the knowledge before you learn, before you dance. Because why? You have to respect India. That is their culture. If you don't know and you just dance, so that is kind of like you are respect. And in my experience between 8 years, I have a lot of good memory in India. But I remember when I went to India my first year, I couldn't understand English or Hindi at all. And all my friends, foreigner friends, Indian friends, and on that time I couldn't know Thai people also, because in Sri Rampate Karakina in Delhi, I'm just only one Thai person who studied there. And my guru teach me one thing, you came very far, so you have to learn properly about Indian classical dance, because when you go back to Thailand, you must explain the right way. And if you don't know something, so you can call me anytime. Even now I stay in Thailand, but if my student asking me some natural stuff, but I couldn't understand some point, so I try to call to my Guruji, and then after that Guruji explain to me, and then after that I give the knowledge to my student. I will not let my student or some Thai people who come to me, I will not give the wrong way, because I feel like I should respect India. And when I went to India, so I try to explain Thai classical dance, because before I used to study the College of Dramatic Art, Thai classical dance and Khon. So when I went there, sometimes I working under the Thai embassy. Yeah, and in my experience, very, very good for me is about Guru Shishya Parampara. My Guruji is Dhirendra Diwali Guruji. and he explained and then he showed to me because he, even now he is become guru, but he's always go to his guru Rajendra Kankani. And because of that, he said, Guru Shishya Parampara, not just only you come to learn and then just, okay, Guruji, pranam, bye, not just only that, but that is like family in Kathak. And because of that, I feel very warm. And if I couldn't understand what is the Mokung, how Kathak came from Jaipur and then Mokun, how it's different, like something like that. So Guruji always explained to me, and now I really understand. Guru not just only teacher. Guru is the God. Guru is our father, mother. If not have Guru, so we are not here also. So thank you so much, and I would like to say thank you to ICCR and Indian Embassy to give a chance to me, because if not have this chance, I'm not here as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Khoninkara. The third ICCR scholar is our main speaker of the day, Dr. Kovit Pinpuang. He is an Associate Dean for Research and Innovation, Faculty of Humanities, Kasetsat University, Bangkok. Dr. Kovit will share his experiences as an ICCR scholar. He is also an expert on Buddhist studies. He will share his insights on Buddhist linkages between India and Thailand. As we are celebrating the birth anniversary of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar on 14th April, Dr. Kovit, who has studied Dr. Ambedkar, will share his thoughts on the great visionary. Dr. Kovit, please.
Your Excellency, Guruji Dr. Thirapat Papanta Vitya, Adan Sombat, Amis Duksali, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad to be here, and especially I'm very thankful very much to the Embassy of India to invite me to speak in this event. And today I will talk about ICCR scholarship as allyship during 2002 to 2003, including 4, because I spent time to study for my PhD almost 3 years in University of Pune. After that, I will go to my speak about the Buddhist linkage between Thailand and India in brief, because the Excellencies and my Guruji talk already about the embassy, about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So I will talk about some point important regarding the untold story regarding the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. At the outset, I would like to explain again to ICCR scholarship, because if without the ICCR scholarship, my PhD could not have been accomplished. And also, when I studied in India, I got the good chance very much, and also I really impressed with the ICCR staff very much, because when I arrived at Mumbai airport, the ICCR staff come to welcome me and pick up me from the airport to hostel in the University of Pune, including the Association of Thai Students in that time. May I refer his name, Dr. Jamdong Wongkong, in that time. So when I spent the time study in University of Pune, I got everything. Especially, I would like to tell to the student who would like to apply for that on the expenditures, including tuition fee, accommodation fee, and so on, must be taken care by ICCR. And especially at the end of the semester, we also have the group tour of the student. We went to the north, to the south, something like this, to enjoy about the Indian culture. This is for my experience during that time in Pune, University of Pune. After that, I went back to Thailand I become professor at Kasetsart University at the Department of Thai Language. I teach not only the Pali Sanskrit but also Thai for foreigner and also Buddhist culture. And highlighting on 2015, I got the scholarship from ICSR, including the NRCT, in order to make the research on about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar on my topic, the Buddhist society and their role in supporting Buddhism in India. And my theology here, he also supporting and give me recommendation how to do the research in India. In that time, I went back again to India, so that's why I'm talking about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar today, because I spent the day about 23 days in Maharashtra, because my few works went to Nagpur, this is the mainlands of the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, including went to Pune, Nasik, Aurangabad, including Mumbai. This is this area of my research place. Okay, and especially we will celebrate about the 130th birth anniversary of Dr. Babasaheb on the coming 14 April, something like this. So this is a good chance for talking about him. About the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was born on 14 April 1891 in the small town where is known the untouchable village in Maharashtra. Maharashtra is a big area. For those people who don't know about the Maharashtra, India, a big area, including Mumbai, Pune, something like this. For birth, his name is Pim. Pim, this is his name. When I went to the Vihara in order to correcting the data, surprisingly, I have seen the prayer book. In the prayer book, in the book, the Buddhist follower, according to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar phenomenon, they also salute to the Dr. Babasaheb at the Pima Saranang Gacchami, something like this. I have seen in the prayer book. This is for the surprisingly for me. And when we talk about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, actually, he also was known as many activists like Indian jurists, economists, politicians, and social reformer or social discriminator, something like this. And for him, I am impressed with him in the field of Buddhism because he is the patriot for fighting about the social discrimination and also about the social street culture or something like this in that time. This is for my impression to him. And not only that, I also read about the talking or saying of the former Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. He also say referring to the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar like that. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar deserves to be the remembered always by Indians because his fight against social injustice, the great service that he did in framing the Constitution of India. About this topic, Your Excellency also mentioned already, so I mention again. Okay, and we walk back to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar again. Why he select Nagpur as the homeland for Buddhism propagation, or he hold about the religion conversion day in Nagpur? I have read, and according to my research, because Nagpur was originally as the homeland of Nag people, Naga people, who embraced Buddhism for the first time, who tried to supporting Buddhism at the first time. So I think, according to this point, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar also bring this point to make dream come true for the Nag people in Nagpur. This is for, I think, and I also get interview from the people in that area in Dikshapumi, because I went there. This Dikshapumi is the important place for religion conversion ceremonies for the Dalit people. I strongly say that Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was an extraordinary patriot with his dynamic thought in order to shrink the Dalit people to better lives. And also I would like to say that his goodness will forever echo in the end to come. This is for my expression to him, especially for his 130th birth anniversary in this April. And I talk about the phenomenon of Neo-Buddhism or Buddhist society after Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Since India get back to the end of Buddhism revival, long time ago Buddhism not like a Thailand. Thailand is a land of Buddhism, and now the Buddhism get back to India already. According to the phenomenon of Neo-Buddhism by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, when we drag to the history, according to 1891, there were only 50,000 Buddhist people only. But after that, 60 years later, the number of Buddhist people, about 200,000 people, were found in India. This is also for the phenomenon of power about the Neo-Buddhism according to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. And lastly, I also found about the Buddhist people in India. There are more than 10 million. So about the number, we can observe it. Number of the Buddhist people, Buddhist followers, is increasing more and more. This is for the data I collect from research when I went to research in Nagpur. So far as we observe at the present time, I went to the research places. We can say that according to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Neo-Buddhism, it can be divided into two groups. The first group support Buddhism by open the center for Vipassana. It's been put the people study Vipassana, the doctrine of Buddha, something like this. For example, Dr. Goenka Center. This is for the first group. And the second group, support Buddhism by helping the people and put the pupils in many work like social welfare or public charity, something like this. For example, the first group doing like this, Nagaloka. I also visit there in Nagapur. Surprisingly, I have seen many US students from different states from India to study about the Buddha, about doctrine of Buddha. Also, they taken care by social welfare in the Nagaloka in that town. I'm very surprisingly. This is for the activity have done by the Neo-Buddhist Society in Nagpur. Especially, I will bring the Neo-Buddhism in India to link with Thailand. When we talk about the Buddhist society, I would like to say 4 points. The first one, I would like to say about how originate about the Buddhist society. In this point is not different, just similarly, because in Thailand, when we have the association of Buddhist society, it depends on the people who would like to keep the Buddhism and propagate Buddhism, something like this. So united each other and become the association for Buddhism. But a little bit point different because in India has about the caste system, but in Thailand don't have caste system. About the origination of the Buddhist society in India is depend on like in the case of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar about the Dalit people, because about these people under the social discrimination, they would like to get a better life. and then Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar make the solution for them, something like this. This is for the point may be different as compared to Thailand Buddhist society. And the second one, I talk about the status of Buddhist society. This is not much different because when we talk about the status of Buddhist society, in Thailand, Buddhist society under the under the royal patronage or any is free in order to do the activity. And this point also similar to the Buddhist society in India, Nagapur, because they are free. They have the activity. No one is background, something like this. And especially for those people who would like to support the Buddhist society in Nagapur, from Dalis people, because Dalis people united each other and collecting money at the foundation like this and support to this society, and also about the function to be held in the Nagapur. And the third one, according to the development of Buddhist society, this one may be different because in Thailand, Buddhist society mostly under the controls of the supporter, big supporter, and also under the royal patronage, something like this. So the developments of Buddhist society in Thailand can be done and grow really faster as compared to India. India goes slowly because it's free and independent society, something like this. No one to support much, not only the Dalit people, each other, something like this. And the last one, I would like to say about the main target of Buddhist society in India and Thailand. It can be said that it's really like each other because when we consider about the target, we can see the Buddhist society stand for supporting Buddhism in the country and overseas, and to study, propagate, and maintain the doctrine of the Lord Buddha, and to promote relationship between other religions, and especially to do the public charity and the social welfare. The last point is important, and this one also really clear as compared to the Buddhist society of the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. About this, this is the some point from my research I've been to share with you because we would like to celebrate 130 year birthday anniversary of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar on the coming April here. So to sum up, I would like to say that Buddhist society in India, and now if has no Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the Buddhist society, the Neo-Buddhism cannot get back to India. Especially now about the Buddhist society by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar also play a very important role at the present time. I also think in the future, if the association of Buddhist society would like to develop, they can think for the future and set up as the good society of learning, because a good society of learning can become the leading organization in the world. And in that time, Buddhist society not only stand for protecting and maintaining Buddhism, but also successing Buddhism in the land of the India from generation to generation. It will be stable for India like the Lord Buddha did in long time ago. I would like to say lastly that about the Buddhism in India now can be the model as the role model to bring the peaceful life and bring the wisdom to the peoples in India at the present time, like the Buddha did already in the long time ago. This is my experience talking about the research. Just a little bit. If you wanted to get for the whole about this, I can give you for the research I have done. Okay, thank you very much.